Judges, what's the wildest thing you've seen in court? Anthony and Sarah Carter had been fighting over their 6-year-old twins, Emma and Jake, for almost a year. The courtroom was packed every hearing. Witnesses, social workers, the kids' school counselor, even their soccer coach. Anthony claimed Sarah was unstable and unfit. Sarah insisted Anthony was controlling and neglectful. The twins had been living with Sarah, but Anthony wanted full custody. This case had everything. Accusations flying back and forth, expensive lawyers billing by the hour, character witnesses on both sides. Anthony's mother testified that Sarah never let the kids visit. Sarah's sister claimed Anthony missed every school event for work trips. The final hearing was supposed to be routine. Closing statements, final arguments, then I'd make my decision. Both lawyers had already given their speeches. I was about to call a recess when Anthony's attorney stood up with this sealed manila envelope. Your Honor, we respectfully request the court review newly obtained DNA test results. The entire courtroom went dead silent. Even Sarah looked completely confused, staring at her ex-husband like he'd lost his mind. I raised my eyebrow. Counselor, why wasn't this evidence presented during discovery? Anthony's lawyer claimed the lab had taken extra time to process the results. Something about backlog and quality control. I allowed it, even though it felt strange this late in the proceedings. The bailiff walked the envelope over to my bench. I opened it and started reading. Then I stopped. Read it again. Then a third time, because what I was seeing couldn't be right. The DNA results showed that neither Emma nor Jake were Anthony's biological children. Not one of them. 0% paternal match. Anthony shot up from his chair. That's impossible. There has to be some mistake. Sarah just broke down crying right there in the middle of my courtroom. Loud, ugly sobs that echoed off the walls. I didn't know, she was saying through her tears. They were from the same fertility clinic. There must have been some kind of mistake. That's when the real story came out. 6 years ago, during their IVF treatments, the clinic had accidentally used a different donor's sample. But here's the kicker. Sarah had never told Anthony they were using IVF at all. She had flat out lied and told him the children were conceived naturally and were definitely his. So Anthony found out in my courtroom, during a custody hearing, that not only were the kids not his biologically, but that his wife had been lying to him for 6 years about how they were even conceived. The courtroom was so quiet you could hear people breathing. Sarah's lawyer looked like he wanted to disappear under the table. Anthony's lawyer was shuffling papers, probably wondering if this helped or hurt his case. But what shocked everyone, including me, was Anthony's reaction. He didn't storm out. He didn't start yelling or demand to speak to his lawyer. He just sat back down in his chair and stayed silent for what felt like the longest minute of my career. Then he looked up at me with these tired eyes and said, Your Honor, I don't care what that paper says. They're my kids. I raised them from the day they were born. I taught Jake how to ride a bike. I braided Emma's hair for school pictures. That doesn't change because of some test. I had to call a 10-minute recess just to collect myself. In 30 years of law, I'd never seen anything like it. When we came back, I awarded joint custody because despite Sarah's deception, Anthony's bond with those children was real. That paper didn't change the fact that he was their father in every way that mattered.